All right, it looks like we're live. What's up, you guys? It's Mike, the real United States champion here. The belt is over there, and I'm too lazy to grab it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so here we are today with the WrestleMania 35 predictions video. Now, I must say that I'm a little bit rusty on doing live streams. I haven't done a live stream in, God, who knows how long. And the last time I tried to do it, it completely failed. And I tried to use Hangouts for the last time I did. I think it was like SummerSlam 2015-ish, something like that. And completely failed. So I haven't really done live streams, and also I've just been really busy. I know I keep using that excuse, but what do you want from me? I don't know. Anyway. But regardless, I am here for a predictions video. I figured WrestleMania, why not? Let's do a predictions video. Let's do it. I know that my setup is also a little different. Had to move around my desk a little bit since the last time you've seen me. So also apologies for that. But I digress. So using the power of Wikipedia, we have the card for WrestleMania 35. This will take place at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. My crazy uncle, believe it or not, actually wanted to try to go to Mania, but because of other things with school and stuff, me and my cousins said no, because, you know, that's a long trip and everything like that, and then we get back late. But anyways, so yes, WrestleMania will be taking place in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I probably murdered that name, but it's okay. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into this here. So just giving a brief overlook about this, how this pay-per-view is shaping up. It looks better than 32. I will say that much. One thing I noticed is that there's a huge abundance of singles matches, and the tag titles are not particularly treated very well on the show, in my opinion. Because there is no revival on the show. Actually, no, I lied. There is actually the revival on the show, and apparently it was announced at the last show. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how the tag titles are being treated here. But there's a huge abundance of singles match on the show. So like I said, we're just going to get right into this here. Not going to waste any more time. Let's dive right into it. So we're going to start out with the Universal Championship matchup. We have Brock Lesnar, the champion for 11 years, defending his championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins finally getting his opportunity at the Universal Championship. It's about time. I feel like it's long overdue since we last got a Seth Rollins championship match, especially for the Universal Championship. So I'm really happy to see Rollins pull out the win at the Royal Rumble, and now he's going to get his championship match that he deserves. Now, a lot of people are saying that Lesnar is going to retain, but me being the optimistic dork that I am, I'm going to say that Seth Rollins is going to take this championship away from Lesnar. I mean, who else is really going to take the title away from Lesnar? Reigns has done it before, and Lashley and McIntyre could, but I feel like Rollins would just be – that would be a fantastic way to close out Mania, even though it's not the main event. But still, it would just be so satisfying to see Lesnar drop the championship to somebody as great as Seth Rollins is. I mean, he deserves it. So, bold prediction here, but I'm going to go with Seth Rollins is going to take the Universal Championship, although I do have a slight feeling that Lesnar is going to retain anyways. So, there goes that. All right, here's the real main event. We have the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships both being defended in a triple threat match. Ronda Rousey defends her Raw her Raw Women's title. Charlotte the Flair, Jesus, sorry, I can't speak. Charlotte Flair defends her SmackDown Women's title, and Becky Lynch is also in the matchup as well. Now, I must say that this feud has been butchered. And I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on that one because it's very simple. The fans wanted Ronda versus Becky Lynch, and the WWE goes and adds Charlotte into the mix. They suspend Becky, and then she has her leg injury. Then they fight for the #1 contendership. So who's going to fight at Mania? And then Charlotte gets disqualified, and Becky gets in anyway. It's a whole mess. It's like a puzzle. You got to put pieces together to try to figure out what kind of direction they're going in for this feud. And honestly, it's a mess. So I have no idea how to take this matchup. And there's only one answer about who's going to win: Becky Lynch. That's the only person. If Charlotte wins, the whole place will erupt into a riot. If Ronda wins, nothing really happened. It's just like, I don't know. It's not really going to do anything for anybody. And then Becky's really the only choice here. So I'm going to say that Becky Lynch is going to win, though I honestly am just, all the excitement for this matchup has just been sucked out of me. Like, Charlotte has really no place being in this match. Like, I like Charlotte and everything, but we just wanted Ronda versus Becky, and that was it. That was it. We've already gotten Ronda versus Charlotte. We've gotten Charlotte versus Becky tons of times. So why not just keep a singles between Ronda and Becky? I don't know. And then that weird heel turn, just that at the last second, it just felt wrong and weird. So that's that. So I'm going with Becky Lynch for the win here. So I'm just going to go over here from the Wikipedia match card if you're playing along at home. So we have the Cruiserweight Championship. We have Buddy Murphy defending against Tony Nese. Considering that Buddy Murphy has been on a tear as of recent, like he's been a very dominant Cruiserweight champion at this point, it's hard to bet against him. So I guess I'll go with Buddy Murphy. The Cruiserweight Championship is not something important, unfortunately, and that's why it's on the pre-show. I mean, it's been on the pre-show for forever. I mean, it was on the pre-show at Mania 33. It's on 34. It's like the Cruiserweight no one cares about that title, unfortunately, and it sucks. You know, the Cruiserweights deserve more attention than they really get, because I've seen them live, and you know they can really go. Like Jack Gallagher is probably one of the best cruiserweights on that roster. Like Brian Kendrick, TJP, he's gone now, but he was fantastic. So, I mean, it sucks that the cruiserweights are being treated the way they are, and they're being stuck on the pre-show once again, but they're being on the pre-show, they're not being shown at all. So we're going to go with Buddy Murphy for this one. Tony Nese, it'd be cool to see him win, but Buddy's been on tear. Okay, so we have a no-holds-barred match between Triple H and Batista, and this will be a matchup in which if Triple H loses, then he must retire from in-ring competition. Now, here's this brings up a point that I've been thinking about recently. With the stuff that's going on with Kurt Angle, and now if Triple H loses this matchup against Batista, my childhood is going to crash and burn. I mean, it kind of crashed and burned a while ago when WWE completely changed their, their ways. I think it was like 2010 for me, in which I saw the light that WWE is really garbage. I mean, some people may say earlier and say that, oh, the Attitude Era should come back. Ruthless Aggression sucked. No. Sorry. I grew up with Ruthless Aggression era. That's my era. It's my favorite era. I know there was a lot of stupid stuff from that time period, but that's just the time period I truly became a wrestling fan. So I don't really care what people say about that. Anyway, so this feud has been interesting. I'm going to be honest, I was actually very surprised to see Batista return in the way that he did. He's like, "Hey, Hunter, do I have your attention now?" Huh? It was pretty funny. So this one's actually kind of tough, honestly. I guess I'm gonna go Triple H here. I think the fact that they used the fact that Batista has always beaten Triple H, and that Batista's saying that he will never be beaten by Triple H, I feel like that's kind of a sign that Triple H is eventually going to beat him. And I feel like Triple H has a few more years in him. He hasn't gotten rusty from what I've seen. I refuse to watch Crown Jewel, so don't tell me anything about that. But I don't know. I feel like Triple H isn't done yet. I feel like he still has a couple more matches in him before he retires officially. Batista's a different story, but I need to get used to not seeing Hunter if he's actually going to be retiring. So I'm going to go with Triple H here, and that's about it. So, but this feud is probably one of the best as far as booking wise goes. So kudos for that. All right, next up we have Angle's farewell matchup. As I just said, Kurt Angle will be competing in his very last matchup. There's another part of my childhood that's crashing and burning, and he will be taking on, or we assume he'll be taking on, Baron Corbin. So a lot of people have been giving red flags and just talking very negatively about Corbin, and I kind of hate seeing that, because Corbin is actually a great competitor when you look at his past stuff. I mean, when he was the Lone Wolf in 2017, 2018, he pulled off great matches with guys like Kalisto, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. He had a matchup with him on SmackDown that was pretty decent. So I hate the negativity that Corbin gets, because he's really not as bad as people say he is. It's really just a matter of how he's being booked at the moment, which is pretty atrocious, I'm not going to lie. But I feel like all the negativity aimed towards Corbin is a little unfair. He deserves better, Angle. He deserves better than Corbin, yes, like just as a final matchup. And then it also goes with that they already settled their heat months ago. Corbin beat him in a singles match, and that should have been the end of it. So here's my prediction. Like, it could go one of two ways pretty much. Either they are being dead serious about Corbin facing Kurt Angle, and my prediction is that they are going to have Corbin beat Angle. It's a way of passing the torch to Corbin. He is tremendously over as a heel, and people hate him, and that would be a fantastic way to get him over as a heel. So if they're really going that route, if that's truly the direction they want to go in, then Baron Corbin will get the win. However, if something does occur and Corbin gets attacked, if you know what I mean, then who knows what's going to happen. Sorry. But you know what I mean. Okay, so next we have Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Now, this is also another interesting matchup that will be taking place, because this feud, again, has been booked pretty well, I must say. Now, a lot of people I know are going to be saying, oh, it's so predictable. There's going to be a heel turn. They face each other at Wrestlemania. Okay, yeah, that's a fair argument. Like, the heel turn was pretty obvious. But how many people were expecting that Shane McMahon would turn heel? Because personally, I was actually expecting The Miz to turn heel, considering that that's just the way it's always been. Miz has been the heel since he first stepped foot into WWE, with the exception of the couple months in like 2013 he was a face. But generally, he's been a heel all his career up until this point. And this is very interesting to me. So who do I think is going to take the win? Well, it's probably going to be The Miz. I mean, it'd be good revenge after Shane put his hands on his father. And I'm expecting a good brawl out of this. Like, I want a good fight out of this, because this rivalry's gotten so personal. And it'd be disappointing to see it just end up just them, oh, there's a shot to the face. And then like 5 hours later, oh my God, another shot to the face. Like, you know, just, that's not what I want. Like, slow action is not the kind of action you want out of this type of feud for this type of match. So The Miz is going to get a win. Shane will probably put up a good fight, but I'm going to go with The Miz, or The Miz. Yeah. Okay, so here's a matchup actually from my childhood. So a lot of my childhood is being resurrected for one night, and hopefully it delivers. AJ Styles going one-on-one with Randy Orton. Now, when I was 8 years old, this is probably a matchup that I would have blown my mind. Like, I would have lost my mind if Orton and AJ Styles were competing in the same ring. because yeah, AJ was in TNA and then you had Orton in WWE. It was like that would have blown my mind as a kid. So this is actually really interesting seeing this this matchup take place at Mania. I don't think it's the first time these two competitors have actually faced off, but just the fact that it's happening on Mania, like that's something that I would have very much appreciated as a kid. So who I think's gonna win? AJ. Not much else more to say about that. I just believe that AJ is gonna win, and again, hopefully they put on a good matchup. You know, so that's definitely a dream match that I would have very much appreciated. Okay, so moving on, we have another pre-show matchup. We have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, let me read off all the comparisons fast. So we have Braun Strowman, Michael Che, and Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Kalisto, Grand Metalik, Lince Dorado, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino, Victor, Connor, Andrade, Cien Almas, still mad they changed his name, Ali, which is Mustafa Ali. It's infuriating. It really is. Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Otis Dozovic, or just Otis, Tucker Knight, or just Tucker, and EC3. Before I get into this, all these name changes are getting ridiculous. Like, I was so mad when I learned that they changed Ali's name to just Ali. Like, Mustafa was clearly a great name. And same with Andrade. If they were going to change his name, they could have just changed it to Cien Almas. Andrade just doesn't sound as cool. Excuse me. But, yeah, name changes, ridiculous. And who I think is going to win. If either of those two schmucks from Saturday Night Live get the win at this pay-per-view, Andre the Giant will be forever disgraced because those two schmucks have no place being in the ring whatsoever. Now, it'd be funny if they just did a spot where they both got power slammed by Strowman and he got thrown over the top rope. But just the fact that they're in this matchup is ridiculous. So if either one of them win, we're going to have some problems. So generally, it's hard to bet against Braun Strowman in this instance. I mean, he's got the highest chance of winning. However, I would love if somebody else won this matchup. Like, there's a couple people in this matchup that actually do deserve to get, like, a win. Specifically, I'm talking about Andrade, Tyler Breeze, and Ali. Any of those three guys deserve the win more than Braun Strowman at the moment. But considering that it's so hard to bet against Strowman and it's almost predictable that he's going to win this matchup, I'm just going to say Strowman. And hopefully those two Saturday Night Live idiots ruin the matchup. So Braun Strowman will be taking the Battle Royal. All right, so U.S. Championship matchup. Samoa Joe defending the U.S. title, supposedly against Rey Mysterio. Right now, Rey's position at WrestleMania, last I heard, is kind of up in the air because apparently he got injured after this past Raw. So who knows what's going to happen with Rey Mysterio. It would be interesting if they did still have Rey compete at Mania and they had Dominic, his son, actually get involved somehow, like they did with Eddie Guerrero in 2005. That would be really cool. Actually, that would be interesting to kind of resurrect, like, that feud of some type. So, like, kind of incorporate Dominic somehow. Like, they don't have to copy the exact feud because it was a little ridiculous when you think about it because they fought over a custody paper, but it would be interesting to see them go that route, except with Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. So if Joe and Rey is going to happen, then I'm going to say Joe will get the win. He deserves to hold the U.S. title for a good long while, and I was very happy to hear that he won the U.S. title in the first place. Okay, so speaking of mid-card championships, we have the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Bobby Lashley will be defending against Finn Balor, and Balor has been teasing the Demon. Something I've been waiting for forever was to get the Demon on WrestleMania, and it looks like we're finally getting it. And no, everybody knows that the Demon generally never loses. I think he lost to Joe, if I want to take a guess. But nobody beats the Demon generally, and Lashley's going to lose. Finn Balor's going to have his moment. He's going to win the IC Championship as the Demon, and it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited to see what the entrance for the Demon is going to be like at Mania. So very much looking forward to that. So, yeah, easily Finn Balor taking the match. There's no question. All right, so in our singles match, we have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, again, has been on a tear, and Roman Reigns just recently returned. Now, I will say this. After the announcement with Roman Reigns having leukemia, I no longer choose to have any hate towards Roman. I just feel bad about even hating on the guy, because there was a period of time in which I legitimately hated him, but I feel bad about it now, so I will not speak about any negativity on Reigns. I respect him for everything that he's gone through with leukemia, and yeah, so I still kind of keep a couple of my opinions like the same, I suppose. Like, the best example I can use is Royal Rumble 2017. He had no place being in that matchup, but as a person, I will no longer say anything bad about him. And I'm glad that he was able to beat leukemia at this point in time. So I'm happy for Roman. So getting back to this matchup, I think Roman Reigns will actually take this win. Although McIntyre does need a win just so he can kind of secure his dominance, I suppose, as one of the top heels on Raw, because he is definitely one of the most hated heels on Raw, aside from Baron Corbin and Nia Jax. So it could go either way. I'll say Reigns, but it is very possible for McIntyre to get the win as well. And I hope he comes out to Broken Dreams, his old theme song. That theme was so good. I've recently taken note as to how good that theme song really is. But I digress on that. So yeah, Roman Reigns likely getting the win here. And that was the 11th matchup that we have. We still have a couple more to go through, so bear with me here. All right, so we have the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. The Boston Hug Connection, Bayley and Sasha Banks, will be defending against Beth Phoenix, another figure from my childhood, who will be teaming up with Natalya, and they will take on the Iconics and Nia Jax and Tamina. Now, the one thing I want to say about this matchup, I wish it was a ladder match, just because, like, tag team ladder matches, especially for the titles, that's something that I adore ever since, like, Hardy's, Edge and Christian, and Dudley Boys. I just love tag team ladder matches. That's just one of my favorite matches ever. But this matchup is still very packed. Nia and Tamina shouldn't be in this match. Beth and Natty would be a good, like, they would be good to win, but I'm not sure how long Beth is really going to stay around, so whether she wins or not is kind of questionable. If she's going to do a run for a while, if she's going to run, like, have a title run for a couple months, and yeah, sure, she can take the titles along with Natty. But my real prediction, Iconics. I think they're ready for it. I think the Iconics are actually they're one of the only legitimate tag teams, I suppose, on the women's division, because I feel like the women's tag division is just kind of lacking. Like, you have Sasha and Bayley, you have Nia and Tamina, and Beth and Natty, just, like, even though they've teamed together like years ago, I believe, it's just they're not even really like a current team, if you know what I mean. It's just like the women's division is just, there's not very many tag teams. But hopefully that will be fixed at some point. That was one thing. Like, I'm happy about the women's tag team championships being introduced, but if they want to do that, they got to have quite a bit of tag teams. But that's a different story. So I am going to say that the Iconics are going to take this championship, the tag team championships. They're entertaining. They can wrestle. They're good looking. What's not to like about the Iconics? So in that aspect, I am going with the Iconics. All right, now just give me a second here. I just need to figure something out here. Okay, just make sure it's okay. So we have a couple more matches left to go through here. Oh yes, okay. We have the WWE Championship being defended. Daniel Bryan taking on Kofi Kingston, and Daniel Bryan is getting the win. I'm just kidding. Daniel Bryan is going to win. I'm telling you right now, he's going to win. All you Kofi fans, you can email me all you want. I don't care. Obviously, I'm kidding. But yeah. So, Kofi Kingston, yeah, he's going to win. He's going to win. I was just joking about the Daniel Bryan stuff. But yeah, Kofi Kingston's going to win. He's spent 11 years fighting for this opportunity. I can't believe he hasn't even gotten an opportunity yet. And I believe it's his time. There's really no other better time than now for Kofi to get the championship. Although I do kind of think that a New Day heel turn will be taking place, whether it's Kofi turning on Ian Woods or if it's Woods and E turning on Kofi. It could go either way, or it could just be like E just turning, or I don't know. There could be a couple different routes they could go with that, but I'm thinking a heel turn. I mean, they've been together for so long. I mean, I think Woods and E kind of deserve their own singles runs as well. E is definitely World Heavyweight Championship worthy. Woods, it could get there. Like, I think if you want to build himself up more, he should probably start with the U.S. title, but he could definitely get there. He's underrated. And I watch Up, Up, Down, Down all the time, so shout out to Up, Up, Down, Down. Because he sucks, by the way. But that's a different conversation. So, getting back to this, Kofi Kingston winning the championship. It's his time. Get rid of that ugly championship, although it works with the gimmick. But yeah, get rid of that title. I miss the gold. So Kofi getting the win. We have the Women's Battle Royal. I forgot this matchup even existed. I think Asuka won it, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure she won it at 34, and I completely forgot that this matchup even existed. So that just goes to show how important this Battle Royal really is. And yeah, I completely forgot about it. So real quick, here's the competitors. We have Dana Brooke, Mickie James, my girl Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, and Nikki Cross. Sucks. There's a lot of talented women in there that should really be doing, like, they should be in the SmackDown Women's Championship match, but dumbass Charlotte had to win the title. I feel so bad for the SmackDown chicks. They deserve better. Like, they could have at least competed in their own matchup for the SmackDown Women's title, but it's whatever at this point. So who's going to win? Asuka's in there. She's very much so going to probably win. My personal preference, though, would be Ruby Riott, just because that would be a good way to bump up the Riott squad in a way. And then that will also kind of get Ruby on that path she needs to get to in order for her to get back in the Raw Women's title picture. Like, I just like Ruby Riott, though. So I'm a little biased there. But Asuka could be a back-to-back winner here. So I'm going to go with the Empress of Tomorrow. All right, we are getting down to the last couple matches here, and I was just speaking about the tag team titles earlier, so here we go. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, my boys, the Usos, will be defending against Ricochet and Aleister Black, The Bar, and Shinsuke and Rusev. Unfortunately, Rusev Day no longer a thing, which is a bummer. So, give me one second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to deal with some business, so excuse that. All right, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You see, I coincidentally, well, not so much coincidentally, I'm rocking the Usos T-shirt and the hat because I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Usos at the moment. So, who's going to win this matchup? There's a lot of good teams in this one. This is actually a really good match. I'm not gonna lie. And who's gonna win? That's a good question. I can see them putting over Black and Ricochet because they're both fantastic competitors and they've been working pretty well as a tag team. Even though I kind of expected them to be like singles competitors when they first entered the main roster, but it's okay. They're a good tag team, and the tag team division is pretty like screwed up at the moment. So I think it's a good thing that that I just got a blank mind. Yeah, I think it's a good thing that Ricochet and Black are getting some kind of exposure that they definitely deserve. Lafayette, Louisiana doesn't know how to appreciate good talent, though, so don't go there. So, yeah, this is another tough matchup, but I'm going to say it will go to either the Usos or Ricochet and Black. Like, it would be a good way to put over Black and Ricochet, so I almost want to say them. But then again, the Usos are a fantastic tag team, so yeah, it could go either way. So I'm going to officially say that either the Usos or Black and Ricochet. I don't really care. Okay, and we have for the Raw Tag Team Championship, this is the last matchup we have here. We have the Revival taking on Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Now, this matchup is interesting because as I'm thinking about who's going to win in my head, I'm thinking that Ryder and Hawkins actually could win the Tag Team Championship, but then again, it would not do very well for the Revival as they're still trying to get themselves over. So it would be a good way if Hawkins and Ryder went over here, and then the forever losing streak of Kurt Hawkins will officially end. But it's hard to say. Like, I'm not sure if they should really drop it to Revival, considering that the Revival deserves much better in their own right. So it's a hard matchup to really figure out. Honestly, that would be amazing if Hawkins and Ryder won, because they've been working at getting Hawkins to actually finally get a win after like 2-3 years of losing. So that would be a good way to get Hawkins over and finally get his losing streak like out of the way. So that one's kind of a tough call. But I'll say Hawkins and Ryder. Why not? Why not? I think Hawkins deserves a win at this point. He's underrated. He just always loses. And I know the fans are always pulling for him to win. I am too. The day that Hawkins gets a win, that will be the greatest day of everybody's lives. That's how I see it. Okay, and just like that, that concludes this predictions video for WrestleMania 35. I can't believe we're at 35 already. It's insane. I just did 32 a couple years ago, and here we are, 2019, we're doing 35. I can just remember I was 8 years old when WrestleMania 24 came out, and I can't believe that we've actually gotten this far. So it's amazing. So I really hope that 35 delivers here. The card looks good, with the exception of a couple hiccups, but I'm usually optimistic. It's not like being all negative on WWE, so we'll see how everything goes here. So that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I need to go places. I need to leave, the site. So if you want to find me on Twitter, you can now find me at NuxRules212, because my old Twitter handle at NuxRules14 got shut down by Twitter. It's unfortunate, but I started up a new one. So you can go find me on Twitter at NuxRules212. Of course, you can subscribe to me here on Bag2K1. I'll post videos whenever. I kind of try to do it as often as I can, but sometimes things happen. I get busy. It's a part of life, you know. I got school, I got work in the summer, like yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you all for watching this video. If you are watching right now, if you actually watched this entire thing, then thank you very much for that. Make sure you leave a like, leave a favorite. I don't even think people do that anymore, but leave a favorite. Sure, why not? You can share it with your friends. You know, the things all down there. You know what to do. You've heard it 1,000 times from a bunch of other people. So yep, that's about it. So this is Mike, the real United States champion, and I will see you guys later.